Hello everyone and welcome to the last part of our interaction system tutorial. In this tutorial, we will be creating dynamic button image for our widget. So if you are using keyboard and mouse, we will have here a keyboard and mouse logo, maybe the E button, and when you are using Xbox, you will have the X button on the Xbox. Okay, so let's get started. First, we need to update we need to import our meshes. I will leave a link in the description for you so you can upload them. Okay, now that my textures are imported, let's go ahead inside our widget in here. Let's create a function called update button image. And to let the system know what device you are using, we simply get a subsystem called get input subsystem, get input device subsystem, and from it we get the most recently used hardware device. Okay, and the user in user ID, let's make it as parameter, and let's break the return value struct, and let's cite everything except the hardware device ID. We need this. Now, the hardware device ID is a unique ID for each hardware device. So for the keyboard and mouse, the hardware device ID is KBM. And for the input, for the Xbox controller, it's X input controller. Okay, so how we will do it is we will create a tmap of name key and a value of texture, and we will populate this. Then we will find inside this tmap the ID, our currently used device ID, and based on that we will get the texture and set it as texture, the button image texture. Okay, so let's create the tmap. Let's call it hardware device ID to texture. Okay, and let's make it name, and here let's change it to map, and the integer let's change it to texture 2D object reference. Okay, now let's add two elements. First one is first one ID is for keyboard and mouse, so KBM. Let's add the image, and the image is E button, keyboard E button. Okay, and the second one is for the Xbox, so it's Xbox input controller and Xbox X button. Now the third one is for the PlayStation, but to be honest, I couldn't find anywhere the the PlayStation controller ID, so I'm not sure what is it. But if you know and find it somewhere, you can just add it here like so and write it in here and add the image, and then it will automatically find it. Okay, so let's delete this. I don't need it. Now in here, let's drag our map and search for find, and the name we want to find is this ID. Okay, then if we found one, if true if an item was found, we want to set the button image, so set brush from texture. We want to set it to be equal to the texture found, to the texture mapped to this key. Okay, now inside our event construct we need to call this button and this function, and for the user ID we can keep it empty, or we can get the player controller, get platform user ID, and connect it here. I prefer if you do this. Then let's try it for now. So now I'm using keyboard and mouse. If I go in, it says E, keyboard and mouse, and if I connect my controller, it says X. Okay, however, if I'm currently playing on my keyboard and mouse and the widget is visible and I change to my Xbox, the button doesn't change image because it doesn't know what to do whenever the hardware is changed. Well, we do know, but the engine doesn't know. So let's assign a function. Let's assign this function to whenever the hardware device is changed. So from the input device subsystem, let's get the assign on input hardware device changed. Okay. Let's organize this. Let's bring this here. Add a sequence. Okay. And first, so first we update the button image, then we assign to whenever the hardware device is changed, we assign this button, this update button function, and the user ID is this user ID. Now, if I'm playing on my Xbox controller, then I switch to keyboard, I will get the keyboard. If I switch back to my Xbox controller, as you can see, it's working. Okay. Now my Xbox controller is a little sensitive. Okay, but as you can see, it's working. Great. Okay. I think that's it for this tutorial, guys. I hope you enjoyed this series. Now, if you need any other interactable class, for example, a television or anything else, let me know in the comments, and I will try my best to make a video about it. Because I can't do everything. Obviously, I just showed you the system, how the system works, and how you can extend from it. But if you need any interactable, just let me know in the comments. I will be happy to make a video about it. Okay, so thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And take care.